just don't let it be a ghost BL. Like, just...
Now I hope it's a ghost BL just to spite you, so you have to watch it for OffGun.
Hi guys! Welcome to LoveCast BL podcast. I'm your host Pixie, and with me are my co-hosts Alexa and Kayla.
Hi.
We're back to dancing in the beginning. Today we are deep diving into OffGun. That was probably the wrong way to say it. I just realized while saying it. But yeah, we're doing we're going through OffGuns history and all the stuff they've done. But first we are talking a little bit about some issues that happened recently. And it's bad. So we can start with Safe House. The new season of Safe House have had some issues to the point where I would say that, like, just cancel it. Just stop.
Yeah, I was never super, like, a big Safe House person to begin with. Like, I kind of just, like, would watch the clips here and there on Twitter. But, like, 2 issues in a span of, 7 days? And neither of them are handled very well. It's just kind of like, I don't know if I want to see this happening again.
Yeah, it started with the Fui and White. Joking about, what was it exactly they said?
It was like a play on words in Thai, so I don't know if it would translate. Like, the translation to English, didn't really, make sense, but a lot of the translators were saying, basically it's talking about, forcefully entering someone from behind, basically, so it was a rape joke.
Talking to first.
Yeah.
And obviously they got a lot of backlash from this, and their apology, they forced first to sit there with White and Fui and accept their apologies.
Like a hostage video. That's really
what is he supposed to do? He has to say okay. There's no, it's a lose-lose for him. They're his seniors. Obvious, power play. In Asian countries, often, older people are always right?
Seniority plays a big role, yeah.
Yes. And first is obviously the younger one in this.
Yeah, it was just a weird situation, it didn't feel sincere because, obviously you knew they were only doing it because Safe House is a live streaming situation and everyone saw what happened, and therefore they felt like they had to sit down, and address the camera directly and address the situation directly, and, I feel like that takes a lot of the sincerity out of the situation and makes it seem like it's a lot more just for show, for Bowie and White to kind of cover their asses.
I think I saw, Fui said in his, apology that he wanted to address it. He asked the staff to address this. And I'm just like, dude, no.
Okay. You want a cookie?
Yeah, don't talk like that to begin with. What? Yeah. And it takes into question, the typical, boy talk, that they call it, locker room talking. That people will often excuse as boys being boys.
Yeah.
But it's not okay.
Yeah. I think they made, some reference to it being, a joke on, Facebook or TikTok or something. This is how they talk on this social media platform. You need to get on there to understand it type thing. And it was just so okay, they shouldn't be talking like that on that social media platform. And why are you talking like that in real life? Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. And that's followed by blackface. Fantastic. Fantastic.
I need to take a sip of my water before talking about this one.
I was shocked. I'm just like, there is no excuse because, first off, GMMTV has done this before. They know better. Second off, no person on this earth doesn't know that that isn't okay. Like, it's...
The whole, like... They're camouflaging because it's a game type situation, and everyone was joking it was putting on camouflage, you know, as in the black paint was camouflage. But then, like, you kind of lose that argument when they put a curly wig that's clearly an afro on top of the person whose face is painted fully black and they all laugh at it. Like, that's not... That's moving past the, oh, it's camouflage territory into what is very clearly a racial depiction of a black person. Mm-hmm. And then that's not a joke anymore. Like,
and that they find the situation funny. And they find that look funny. And that, like, I was so shocked when I saw it. I'm just like, how? And GMMTV, for once, trying to, like, explain it away, like...
that it wasn't meant to be, like, a racial depiction and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like...
It wasn't meant to be. Oh, my God.
I just think that, like, what something is meant to be and the intention of something doesn't mean as much as the way it was perceived by the population. And if Black people are seeing this person with black face paint and an afro on and saying, like, this clearly looks like someone who's mocking me, then that trumps whatever your intention was for it to just be camouflage or just be a game or whatever. Like, that intention doesn't matter anymore because the people who are affected by that are perceiving it as something racially motivated, and that just makes it a completely different situation. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I genuinely think they should have a sensitivity course or have a consultant in the company at all times because they clearly do not understand.
My thought is, if you're going to market yourself as a global company and keep trying to push for global markets, then, like, you can't keep using a lack of global awareness as an excuse for when these things happen. Like, if GMMTV wants to be on the global market, then they need to start being aware of their global audience. And the things that they've done in the past with Fish Upon the Sky and this, and there's other examples as well. Like, the fact that it happens repeatedly and the apologies or excuses that have been written off both times, that, you know, both Fish Upon the Sky and this time have been, like, leaving a whole lot to be desired. I just don't think you can claim yourself as wanting to be, like, a global company without showing proper respect to global populations, especially very historically marginalized populations, you know? So, I don't know. It's just the math is a math thing for me with them.
Mm-hmm. No. And on top of that, there was a situation with June. He was on, like, I don't know what, it's a show, it's like an interview thing, it's supposed to be funny with this older woman. She's like, what did she say, like 63?
In her 60s or something,
Yeah, and you just see in this clip, Yoon is so uncomfortable. And she's, like, ripping in his clothes, removing his clothes.
Trying to, like, lick his armpit and shit
arm
like that.
Up and licking his armpit.
It's so weird.
It's... What?
And then that was another situation where the company that did Unforgotten Night. They put out this whole statement about how they're going to protect you, and he was going to get time off for his mental health, and they didn't expect him to be in this situation, which is fair. Like, I'm sure the company did not expect that. But then the next day, that clip went out of him sitting down with the woman and, like, another, like, apology. I don't even think she said she was sorry. There was not a single, like, I'm sorry.
Opposite.
She said the opposite. She said because she's a 63-year-old woman, she cannot sexually assault him.
Yeah, it was just fucking weird.
Yeah, and then she went on this whole rant on live about how he's not even that popular, and she knows like, all these other actors that are more popular than him. And
so why would she do that to someone she doesn't know?
He isn't shit. Or, like, he's not even that good at acting, which is just so irrelevant.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm not the biggest Yoon fan, but what the... Like, you don't do that to people. Like, if they, like, were just a random person on the street, you still wouldn't do that. Like, that's not okay, and it's not funny.
Just because you didn't know who he was, or you know, don't think he's a big shot, doesn't change the fact that you were touching him inappropriately, you know? Like, that's not something that can only happen to famous actors. Like, what is the logic
if this was, like, an old man who did that to a young girl.
Yeah. And like, I feel like, I don't know why she thought her age was an excuse for it.
Yeah, because he means that, like, it's nothing sexual, so it can't be sexual harassment. But
it is.
Clearly, they have no idea what that is. It's Heather. It's very predatory. It's a very predatory behavior, and she is behaving this way because she thinks she is better than him, and she knows all these people and thinks that she's really high on herself. And this has something to do with, like, the whole power imbalance in the industry. And how people higher up think they can do whatever they want and get away with it.
Yeah. Well, who the fuck even is she? If we're gonna talk about relevancy, like, if you're gonna be like, oh, Yoon isn't relevant, like, who the fuck are you, old lady? Like,
yeah, right?
Like, where do you think you get your power from? Like, it's just so.
And she was going off saying, like, it was just like his fan club, like it wasn't a legitimate complaint, like it was just fans being crazy because they are fans. But like 90% of the people calling her out on this weren't like even like the fan club in itself, right? It was just people who saw it.
Yeah.
And it was the doubling down on it too for me. Ooh.
Technically, isn't the company also calling her out in a way?
Yeah, the company put out a whole statement.
Break time.
Yeah, but then they let her, like, him go on the screen with her again. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know what that move was about. Like, I don't know why, even if it was, like, a decision from her team to try and placate things, I don't know why Yoon's company would be like, yeah, this seems like a good idea to let him do this the day after they said they were going to give him a break from all activities.
Yeah, they might have been promised a proper apology, but... Yeah.
I just hate this whole, like Heather was saying, this, like, mentality of forcing victims to face their abusers and accept their apologies, whether they're half-assed or not. Like, it's not right. Like, they shouldn't be required to see those people again if they don't want to. They shouldn't be required to accept their apologies. But when you sit them down in front of a camera, what choice do they have? Yeah. Like, they're not going to say, oh, no, fuck you, in front of a camera, that when they know the clip is going to be online. Like, it's just so messed up.
Yeah. Oh, I wish they would. Like, I wish Yoon would have, like, looked her straight in the face and just, like, fuck you.
I'll do it for you.
Like, okay, I know you couldn't have done that, like, but I that's my headcanon now. That happened.
No, that's what he was saying in his brain, at least.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, so after all of that bullshit, let's talk about something a little more fun. So today we're going to be diving deep into the BL industry's most beloved pairings of Jumpo and Gun Atapan. I can't butcher those names, I know, we're just
our best.
going with it. So, OffGuns' acting history as a pairing started out in 2016 with Senior Secret Love Puppy Honey, where they play Pick and Roam.
Oh boy, Puppy Honey.
I watched Puppy Honey after I watched Theory of Love because I was obsessed. And
poor Pixie.
That was painful. Like, dude.
Moving back, like...
Do not do that. Like, if anyone is curious about Puppy Honey, just let it die.
Yeah, I think I watched it.
Yeah, there
when
are cuts
Sky
on YouTube with just the pairing.
Yeah, I don't know. The Het storyline in that was just like something else completely.
Honestly.
But even their storyline was like questionable at best. Like I remember going back and watching it because Our Sky was going on, and like they were one of the pairings in Our Sky, and I watched it because like I was like, I want to know who all of these couples are before I watched Our Sky, and like it was definitely. It was very, like, apt to the time. Like, it was very much a 2017 BL type tropes and acting and comedy that they put into it and all that kind of stuff. So,
And it, like, just to be clear, this is not a BL. They are a BL couple.
Yeah, they're a side pairing.
A straight show.
Yeah.
So do not go into this thinking it's BL. Yeah, and there was a season 2 in the next year. Fantastic.
I think I watched that one too, but I have no memories of what that would entail. Might have just blocked it off from my memory.
Heather is saying season 2 was better, but I can't even remember. And the year after that, they did Our Sky, like you mentioned, and then came in 2019 Theory of Love, where they played Kai and Third. Yeah. And that was a roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like pretty, like, I don't know what the right word is, revolutionary, but they were one of like, I feel like the first GMMTV BL pairings to like act in another series together. So I remember when the GMMTV New and Next thing for that year came out, like people were freaking the fuck out when they saw that OffGun were going to be in another series together.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, as much as a roller coaster as it was, I feel like obviously it was leagues improvement from Puppy Honey, and it was generally like really good acting, and you really got to see how they had improved in the year since when they first like started acting together. And Theory of Love is where it's at.
I will defend Theory of Love to my dying breath.
Me too. That series, like, I feel like really, really started to get me into GMMTV's dramas, and specifically their BLs, and into OffGuns fandom, because they're just so good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was definitely very, like, different, I think, than what a lot of people expected, especially, I think, from Off, because I think at that point, a lot of people kind of already were aware of Gun's caliber as an actor.
Yeah.
But I think Theory of Love definitely gave Off a chance to showcase more of his range, and, like, his character was kind of like a stereotypical asshole, like, player type dude, but they also added a lot of depth to it, especially in the second half of the series, that I think allowed people to, like, really be surprised by his acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a roller coaster when you think, like, first half, you're just, like, really, really angry at Kai, and then you get to the second half, and you're so angry at third.
Exactly. That was my exact response.
It was insane. And I got, like, in the Discord server warned me before I watched this. They were just like, you're gonna hate both angry. Of them at some point. Like, just... And I'm just like, okay. At least they warned me this time. They did not warn me about the salt in that other one. They did not warn me about that. And I was so angry. But they warned me about this. So... No, I thought, like, it was so interesting because it's so different from anything else we've seen at that point. And it was more adult.
Yeah.
Even though they're in school, it's a lot more adult. It's like something you would see like in a college show in the West. Kind of like the vibe of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the aesthetic wise especially, and like I think the production was really creative with like each episode being themed after a different like rom-com or romance film, which like that's the same director who's doing Vice Versa, and you know they're kind of doing the same thing now with each episode being themed after a different color, which like I love stuff like that. And I love that like they recreated like the posters for each like movie that each episode was based on. Like it was just really cool the way they marketed it and the way they produced it aesthetically and things like that. And I think that, like you said, it just really set it apart from a lot of the GMMTV BLs that we had existing at that time.
I could have done without Earth and Bite.
I forgot how much you hated that pair.
That did not need to happen. I felt like it was put in there just to like give them a couple, and it honestly did not need to be there.
And didn't Mike have like a storyline with like a teacher? Or no, I don't think she was like a professor or something.
Yeah, the professor.
But like she was engaged to someone else, and like he like took pictures at her wedding.
But honestly, I'm here for like the professor drama. I'm so here for it. Like forbidden love and shit. That gets me. I like a little bit controversial stuff. So
I think this was one of the first BLs that didn't focus on engineering. Because I remember when it first came out, everyone was like, finally, we have some art gays. I guess production is a subset of art, but that was a big deal that it didn't revolve around engineering.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, GMMTV kind of took like a leap with that show because Thai entertainment in BL, they really do not want to be like new. They want to do the safe thing, the thing like everyone else is doing that they know will get views. They won't go with stories that are not proven to get views. So, I mean, good for them.
Good for them.
But it wouldn't have worked without OffGun in the lead roles there. Like, they made that show.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. No, the roles were like made for them, I feel like.
100%. And so we got like 2 years with nothing, which was depressing. Like, okay, they did their show. What's it called again?
Oh, OffGun Fun Night. The little GMMTV variety thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had like plenty of like variety, and they did some like advertisement shorts and things like that, but no actual like series projects together.
Yeah. So in 2021, we got Not Me, with the Off playing Sean and Gun playing White and Black twins. And
the icon, the moment. She was everything.
I'm not, like, we waited 2 years and got this, and it was so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if Theory of Love was not like anything GMMTV had ever done in 2019, Not Me was like nothing GMMTV and a lot of other production companies had ever done, because it was so socially aware and politically aware and so real and raw with the stuff it was addressing. And I think that's, like you said, like you were talking about before, in terms of like taking risks, like a big risk to take in taking BL out of that really fantasy realm that it typically exists in, and bringing in the struggles of the LGBT community and in real life, and specifically as it relates to Thai people. But like, God, did it work?
Yeah. I wonder is it a choice of OffGun to sort of go for these shows that are a little bit out of the comfort zone of BL, or if it's a calculated move from GMMTV, knowing that they are established, they can pull off something different.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't be surprised. I feel like I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it's a bit of both. So I feel like when you are that established as an actor within a company, and especially being considered like one of the pillars of GMMTV BL, I feel like they probably have a little bit more pick and choose in what projects they want to take on. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them are like, I want to do something that's different. I don't want to act in another like university, like typical university BL or something like that. But I do think them being one of the pillars of GMMTV and the company knowing that they have an established audience and an established draw, no matter what, makes it easier for them to make these more riskier adaptation choices and series choices with them as the leads.
Yeah. I mean, going into Not Me, Off really took on a task to prove himself, because he's been comic relief all over and over. He's like, just like Mike is, like, they put them in these roles just for just to be funny and
characters.
and it does feel sometimes that they do that because they don't have any what do you call it? They don't have any faith that they can actually pull off a serious role.
Yeah.
So we know Gunn is amazing actor, and if anyone doubted that he could play the role of like this, I don't know what you call white, but dude, if anyone doubted he could be like, because when the trailer came out, people were talking about, like, they thought that Gunn is like a small twink character, like he can't.
Yeah,
that's like, not my words. That's people on the internet.
No, I
words.
definitely did say that.
I was so triggered when I saw that. I'm just like, dude, do you know how long this man has acted? He can act his ass off. So
yeah, he is not an amateur by any means.
Not at all. So it was really like Off having his chance to prove himself. Like, it was him having to do a role that's more challenging than he's used to. But he really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like we have sung Not Me's praises like endless times on the podcast. But yeah, I think Off was just like, you can tell how much work he put into it, and you can tell how much both of them cared for the series, and how much effort they put into making it something really special and something really important. And like, it just shows how much heart both of them put into the whole thing. Like, it was incredible.
I mean, the entire cast of Not Me did so amazing. Like, the only gripe I really have with the series is that stupid matrix jumping they were doing. I mean, what was that? No one jumps like that.
Just a little action.
Superpower jumps across like building
it was
rooftops
so
and
like
shit.
It felt like the jump scenes you get like in Chinese shows when they're like oh my god, yeah. So, but I think Off has grown, like from puppy love to Not Me. Off has grown so much as an actor, and you can kind of see him grow through each year, each show he does.
Yeah.
And Gun just stable, like dude, genius.
Yeah. It makes me like, I don't know, it's really cool when you can follow, I mean, even following them as individual actors throughout the years, but like following a pairing and seeing them in different projects across the years and seeing how they grow as individuals, but also seeing like how they grow in their chemistry with each other and their comfort with each other, and, you know, how like their friendship and the things they've done over the years has really inspired the way they act together. I definitely think you can see things like that from back in 2016 when they first started together to now, and it's just like really cool to be able to follow that kind of stuff and see how it changes and the waves and things like that. And
I think a lot of like their fandom comes from how amazingly comfortable they are with each other. They are at a point like you're past like normal friendship, not in a way. I'm just saying, but dude, they could like seriously, if you want to be delulu about something, like OffGun isn't like a wrong place to go. Just saying.
I think Heather has a point to talk about that, like at the end of the episode.
We'll talk.
To be continued.
So we've gone a little bit about their acting careers, but Off started his acting career as B's boyfriend in the hit series Hormones. Like, I have no idea about these. Like, I seriously have just watched BL. Sorry.
Hormones was like, I think it's almost a horror anthology type Thai series. Ooh. One of those.
Nice. Yeah, and he was obviously a part of Soda's as a support character.
I totally forgot he was in Soda's.
Yeah, right? God. I keep forgetting that too. But honestly, like, Soda's is one of those, like, shows that you forget everyone else in it. Like, there are two characters
There's so many people
in that show. You cannot tell me that there are any other characters in that show. Yeah, and Gun's been acting since he was 8 years old. And his first BL project was the psychological horror film The Blue Hour. I've never heard of that.
I love that movie. I watched that movie before I knew who OffGun were, and it was just like, it's so good. It's very indie. It has the indie vibe to it.
Right. What kind of role does he have? Like a lead role or?
Yes, so he plays this main character who he is kind of a loner, and he goes and hangs out at this pool all the time that has been abandoned, and he meets this other boy there who's a loner, and they end up like forming a relationship. And just like without giving spoilers, it takes a turn, like a really gruesome turn.
Ooh. Yeah, you know, there is something about like BL and pools and everything. Like, I just start thinking about he, she, it, and that takes a turn too. So
yeah,
apparently it's a thing. Don't go in a Thai pool. I'm just saying.
It's either like horror or the underwater kiss. Like, those are the two spectrums of pools in Thai BL.
There was like this, weren't there like this ghost BL with this kid at the pool as well? Like, what was that again?
Ghost BL with the kid at the pool.
There was a ghost in the pool. Seriously, I know I've seen. Do not. I know. Someone in the comments tell me I am right. I cannot have dreamed this. I hate ghosts.
A ghost in a pool in a BL. I don't know.
Seriously, it exists. How do I know this and not you guys?
I don't know.
What have I been watching?
I don't know. Maybe you made that one up.
No, it's not Hishiet. It's like a legit ghost, and he falls in love with the ghost. Like, dude, it's like one of those like I really hate, so I don't know why I watched it. But I know I've seen.
There's something in my room, but there's no pools involved in that one, so it's not something.
I think
in my room.
I think it was a lower budget one. But it's not Hishiet. I don't know. Okay.
Someone in the comments has to know. Someone watching or listening has to know what you're talking about.
Please tell me I did not dream this, because if I'm dreaming about ghost BLs,
maybe that's your sign that you need to start watching.
That's like a nightmare to me. Okay. So they have been nominated for some awards and won some. Best couple at the Maya Awards. They won in 2019 and were nominated in 2018, 2020, and 2022. All the years they were doing shows except Puppy Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were nominated for Best Couple in Line TV Awards in 2019 and 2020, and they won both of those. And they were nominated for Best Scene from Not Me in the Cass Awards in 2022.
Should have won.
Yeah, right? What did win?
Cutie Pie? I think it might have been something from Cutie Pie, but I'm not sure.
No way. Really?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love Cutie Pie like any other, but those are two different shows.
I feel like the problem with the Cass Awards is that I think they're fan voted. So that is usually what makes the difference. No, Bad Buddy won.
Oh, Bad Buddy.
Best Scene. Okay, well, I still should have won, but I can
that's what I'm saying. Like, Bad Buddy did not deserve to win there, but it makes sense if it was fan, voted.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're, mainly fan voted.
I feel kind of bad, Not Me came out, around the same time as, but, they came out right after each other, or were they airing?
It was right after, I remember, because everyone was like, oh, what's going to live up to the hype of Bad Buddy? And there's a lot of, why is it Not Me getting the same hype that Bad Buddy got? Type comments.
Everyone after Bad Buddy were kind of, soaking in the aftermath. And I'm just sitting there rolling my eyes. But...
I was one of those people who could not move on, but I would still watch Not Me.
People weren't moving on, so Not Me didn't get what it deserved of the attention.
Yeah,
I will forever be mad about that. Yeah, and they've probably won or been nominated for a lot of different awards.
There's so many award shows that are magazines and streaming platforms, and all these places have their own award shows every year.
So do we.
True.
Okay. So, what do we love about OffGun? Okay, we've been talking about this, what we love all this time, but favorite series or scene they've played together?
I mean, I definitely think Not Me is my favorite series.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the confession scene in Theory of Love. The whole, like, you're not a movie, like, you're real to me confession scene. Like, I think that's, like, one of my favorite BL confession scenes ever. Mm-hmm. That was good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the scene in Not Me where they're under the flag.
Of course.
The pride flag.
Always.
Of course.
Always.
How can anyone, like, do anything better? Like, aesthetically, it's so pretty. It's such a pretty shot, and the meaning behind it, and just everything, and like it kind of feels like they are having like their sexual awakening under there, and it's just so, it just fits so well. Like, the person who came up with that shot, like, they need all the awards, like all the awards.
Yeah.
I'm not.
She's
over
an
it.
icon.
I will never be over it.
Me neither. I feel like it's really hard to choose between Theory of Love and Not Me because
Same.
they don't even really compare to each other.
Yeah.
They're just so different in content. But I think it would depend on my mood, which one I would choose over the other. But as for like a show that really makes you think, and I really love to overthink everything, Not Me is good for that.
Yep.
But yeah, I go back and forth. It just
same. I just feel it's two different times. It's two different, like, sort of generations kind of thing. It's just they are on different sides of the spectrum and can't be compared. So I just, like, it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
I think so.
True.
Yes. So another point is fashion. Gun, fashion, icon. Like,
it's so effortless.
Yeah.
I just like. I just don't know what else to say other than, like, it's effortless. Like, every look he puts out, like, it's just it just, like, he's one of those people where you would think it wouldn't work, but, like, because it's him, it's just like everything he puts out works, and it looks like it's absolutely effortless in the execution.
Yeah, and just like the confidence he wears it with, and it just, even though it's like clothes that you could never imagine yourself in, it's just, it looks so natural on him. Like, yeah.
He always has really nice handbags. I noticed that. I want that bag.
I think it's really important having men like Gunn that aren't afraid to push the boundaries of what's called, like, men's fashion. Because it shouldn't, like, in reality, it shouldn't be men, women. It should be just, like, everyone can wear what they want and make it look good.
And it's like Kuhart said when we talked to him, like, fashion doesn't need to be gendered. Like, you know, like, and I think he, along with Gunn and, you know, like PP, and there's other actors as well, Turbo is someone who's, like, breaks a lot of the gender norms and his fashion. Like, we just, it's always amazing to see.
And we need more of this. Like, I am so sad that my son is just showing more signs of not wanting to wear certain colors, certain things because they're girly. And I've been, like, his entire life, I've been telling him to wear exactly what he wants to wear. If he wants to buy a dress, I'm buying a dress for him. Like, I've tried, like, I haven't been pushing it on him because I think it's his choice what he wants to wear, but I've been kind of, like, reinforcing, like, if you want to wear a dress, wear a dress. Like, just do what you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I see him, like, going to kindergarten and coming back with all these, like, notions of, oh, he can't wear that color because that's, like, a girl's color. He can't do that. Like, with my daughter as well, she, like, got teased for wearing blue. What?
They're so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. School really has an influence on what you are trying to teach kids. Mm-hmm. Like, you always are trying to teach them to just, like, be themselves, but then you put them out into a society that is still very, like...
ruins everything.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, I can, like, have, like, I hope for the future for my kids is that this society is progressing. Yeah. So it's there's a lot more acceptable. Like, it's a lot more acceptable to wear clothes that aren't necessarily, like, feminine or masculine, or there's a lot less definition on it nowadays. So when they get to a older teenager, they might actually be in a society that will be more open to it, at least more open than it was in my day. And that will help, but
And I think, like, seeing people in the media, like we see with Gun, and there's a lot of celebrities in the West as well that kind of really are seen on, like, a large platform. And I think that kind of stuff and those people are really important for kids and teens who are kind of struggling against what school is telling them versus what their parents are telling them, if their parents aren't as open, and, like, all these things. So, you know, I think having people who are visibly so gender non-conforming when it comes to fashion and their style is, like, super, super important.
Yeah, and I think, like, a lot of, like, this Hallyu wave and everything, like, Asian culture sort of mixing into the Western world is a good thing for showing that masculinity doesn't have, like, anything to do with actually, like, being butch and having a beard. If you want to have that, that's fine, but it's not, like, the staple of masculinity. You can be feminine, but still be masculine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find feminine men very attractive.
Yeah. I'm bisexual, so I just find everyone attractive. But, like, you know, I probably should have realized at a younger age. I was like, wow, these guys that are so feminine are so good looking to me. It would have opened a lot of doors a lot younger in my life.
So, Off's evolution of style.
Off dresses like a lesbian. Those funky printed shirts, those Hawaiian shirts, like, he dresses like a lesbian. Stereotypically, but...
That is so funny.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, Off has been, what do you call it? Like, my brain isn't working. Influenced by Gun through the years?
He has to be.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, with how close they are, I feel like I, naturally take a lot of fashion influence from my friends, no matter how they dress, and, like, seeing the trends that they're coming onto and stuff inspires me. So I feel like, with how close they are, it's only kind of natural that they probably influence each other in a lot of ways when it comes to, like, appearance and style.
Probably. So what I always been so fascinated about with Off and Gun is their nicknames, Puppy and Baby. It's super cute. I'm just gonna say, like, first time I heard it, I was just like, what? But they are so cute. Like, hearing, like, Gun sitting there and yelling after Poppy is just, like, the cutest thing.
You can, like, hear it in his voice in your head. Just, like, the way he says Poppy.
Yeah. So the Poppy nickname was started out as meaning puppy and then evolved to daddy. How did that
actually
happen?
didn't know that.
Makes sense.
I didn't
like,
either.
Poppy, puppy, honey, poppy, puppy, poppy, puppy. And it just kind of,
Just
took on a meaning of a different type of poppy.
I mean, that is super interesting. Because, like, hearing, like, it's, like, poppy, like, it's Spanish, right? I started doubting myself there.
Yeah.
It's Spanish, yeah? Mm-hmm. And hearing that in a Thai, like, I heard it the first time on the OffGun night show thing. And hearing that suddenly, like, on a Thai show, really just, like, I got, like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But it's cute.
Yeah. So I guess they just kind of, like, I mean, yeah, because, like, when you hear Poppy, if you're used to, like, the Spanish root of it, it is, like, usually colloquially used as, like, a kind of, like, the same way that daddy is used now. Yeah. So, like, I guess, like, fans just kind of picked up on it and that meaning, and, like Heather said, that then they just kind of, like, leaned into it as meaning more daddy than the original meaning, which is fair. But I feel like now it's not even, like, it's just, like, the way they address each other. Like, I feel like there's no real meaning in it for them. It's just, like, there was, like, this clip I just saw the other day of, like, Gunn was playing some kind of guessing game, and, like, the person he had to guess was Off Jumpball, like, his full name. And you know, the people who were trying to get him to guess were like, oh, your acting partner, blah, 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 blah. And he needed to say Off Jumpball, but he kept saying Poppy Jumpball, because, like, that's just, like, his name, I feel like, to Gunn.
Wait,
just,
that's
like,
so
he's
cute.
just Poppy. And everyone playing
funny.
was like, this bitch. Like, just stay off.
So funny. Oh my god. That says something about their relationship. Like, they're just so comfortable with each other that it's just gotten that way. It's like, I wish I had that relationship with someone. It's
Pixie's
gone
boyfriend, if you're listening.
Yeah, no, dude. Like, it's gone beyond that. Like, you're just, like, destined.
Yeah, soulmates.
It's
like platonic
literally.
soulmates.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's kind of, they have the same vibes for me like Max Toll have.
Those are the good vibes, yeah. Yeah, she's like that natural, like, friendship.
Heather's going off at me because I don't like ghost feels. And I'm talking about Destiny. Yes, Heather, I do not like ghosts. Destiny is fine. No, okay. So what makes their fandom and fan service unique from others? Obviously, they're so comfortable with each other. Yeah. They're destined.
Yeah. They are constantly doing that thing, and this is where the delusion comes in again. But they're constantly, like, reaffirming the fans' feelings and views on them as a couple, in quotes. So it's like, it just keeps fueling the fire of the fandom to be like, they have to have something going on.
Yeah.
It's just really good fan service.
Yeah. It's like, it's so natural. It's so natural, and they play into it so naturally because they're so comfortable with each other that it kind of makes you be like, oh, it has to be real. Like, there has to be something there. And it's like the same how you said it reminds you of Maxwell. Like, I feel like it's the same way. Like, there's so much comfort and so much, like, willingness to play into, like, some of the more fan servicey things. And it feels so natural that you're like, this can actually be scripted, but, like, it's just because they're, like, besties.
Do you think for them that it feels like sort of I want to say shortcut, but it's not even that. Like, sort of like a cop-out to actually being vulnerable and emotional with another man. If you know, like, in general, men are supposed to not share their feelings, blah, blah, blah. But this is like a way for them to, like, blame fan service for actually being open and emotionally available to another man, even though they're not, like, in a relationship. If you know what I mean?
I think so. I think I know what you mean.
I just think it's very interesting. Because they're so comfortable with each other and sort of like, it's like this acceptance of being comfortable with your sexuality and yourself and the other person, that you can be more open, and like you often see in girl friends relationships.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost kind of like they were already like that, so it makes them easier for them to like lean into the fan service. Like, I mean, I don't know about them as individual people, like what their beliefs are and you know how they act in real life, honestly, because you know we only see a certain facade and personality that they've created to some extent. But like I feel like it's more like the opposite. Like they already kind of had that relationship and that comfort and that friendship that goes beyond like a typical male perceived friendship, that it makes it easier for them to do like the fan servicey stuff and kind of play into it, if that makes sense. If I'm understanding what you were saying. You might have just been like saying what I already said.
Yeah. It's also like they just seem like they truly do not care about anybody's judgment. So they are willing to do whatever without feeling like they're going to be really just perceived judged
a certain way.
Or perceived a certain way. Like it seems like they're not really afraid of anyone ever being like, oh, so like, are you gay or something like that?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's a line that a lot of BL actors struggle to get past, because you know, it makes me think of our interview with Lit where he says like so many of them are concerned with their image, and I think a big thing with BL is acting gay but keeping so much of an image that you're straight enough to be wanted by the female fans. And that's like part of what makes the industry sell, is that like, you know, you can act gay, but also like your female fans can still want you and you're straight enough that they can still want you. But there are certain people that kind of transcend that and kind of just like don't give a fuck about their image in that regard. And I feel like they kind of fall into that category.
That makes sense.
And Heather's like, in Office 30, you start not giving a shit by then.
Yeah.
As a 33-year-old, I can confirm. Oh my god. So, music and music video appearances. I do not know anything about this. Someone enlighten.
I'll be honest, I really don't follow the music that BL actors put out unless they're like someone I know can actually sing.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with some of the songs they've put out for fans. I have the one on a playlist, but I have to look it up because I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Too Cute to Handle. I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
How did I not know this?
I was going to say bless you. I don't know if that was you sneezing or not.
I did a silent sneeze and it came on me so quickly that I couldn't like mute anything.
I'm just like, what? You look so shocked. Heather coming through with the tracks. The loudest silence, Too Cute to Handle. I do, like, now that you've said the title, I was like, I know I've heard that one, at least a reference before in My Side, which was from the Not Me OST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've dabbled.
I mean, they've dabbled. I have a love-hate relationship with BL actors and music. I'm very picky about the BL actors' music that I can listen to. I feel like that's a common sentiment among a lot of BL
I can
fans.
listen to Jeff and bright.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff is like...
I just love their voices. So, I mean, I can listen to them just talking and that will be fine.
I feel that way about, like, Nanon's music and kind of Nunu's too, but he doesn't have much out as of now.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, a lot of, like, like, GMMTV, when... I guess it's really actually common for their artists to put out OSTs for the shows that they're in, and then they'll do, like, the little music video for them that has, like, a little storyline sometimes, or sometimes it's just them being cute together and, like, in a really aesthetic setting kind of thing. Like, that's the GMMTV staple. I'm pretty sure every BL pairing they've ever put out has probably done one of those music videos.
Yeah.
There's been, like, 3 from Vice Versa recently, and that's why, like, I was like, oh yeah, that is the thing that they do.
I find it very interesting how they sort of just use these boys for anything.
They're universal.
Yeah,
they're
like,
universal.
It's
they
like
do everything.
when we talked to Peter Knight, like, he said, like, he was being scouted and just asked to join without anyone knowing if he could sing or not.
It's like, if you look pretty, you can do it. They'll make a way for you to do
Singing can be taught. Acting can be taught.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of their thought process. Is like, as long as someone has the visual they're looking for, like, they can teach them everything else that they need to be famous, which, like,
so fascinating.
Debatable. Yeah. Debatable in some cases, but, like, I just think it's, like, a societal thing. Like, there's a lot more emphasis on, with the way their industry looks, like, marketing someone who is within a certain aesthetic, as opposed to where I feel like in Western, like, television and movie sphere, like, it's more like, I don't want to say talent-based, because obviously all of those people have to be very pretty and fit in a certain aesthetic as well. But, you know, it kind of, like, it's similar to, like, the K-pop industry, where they feel like an idol can be manufactured. So, like, they can teach them to act and sing as long as they have the base, like, visual, and sometimes there's a base level of talent there, too. Like, I assume there has to be at least something there to some degree. But, yeah. You know, it's like they think that everything can be taught that needs to make them an actual, like, idol.
Yeah.
LoveCast the group? What is Heather on about?
Heather is saying that we should go to Thailand and go around in the streets.
I don't know if I have the visual that they're looking for, but, you know, it's fine.
I mean, I do not think they're...
I don't know how they feel about black people.
Not everyone can be Peter Knight, okay?
Exactly. Yep. That's what it comes down to.
It's a nice thought.
But we're willing, like, bring up a girl's love and we'll come.
I will star in your GL series if you want me. I will be, like, the most base side character out there, but I will be in your series if you want me.
I'll do it.
I will be the, like, annoying, like, GL version of Fujishi. I will basically be like how Sammy was.
And like every role she's ever. We will be the Sammy of GLs.
I'm not difficult. Let's go.
I do it.
Oh my god.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
Yeah, right?
OffGun?
So, thoughts on OffGun as pillars of GMMTV and BL?
Yeah, I think it's a deserved title.
Yeah.
I mean, they were basically like the second major pairing after Kristen Cincto. So, like, because Sodas and Puppy Honey came out in the same year? Or did Puppy Honey come out before? I think they came out in the same year, right?
I think there was some overlap with season 2 and Sodas.
Okay. So technically the first season of Puppy Honey, like, came out before Sodas then. So yeah, like they're like the OGs. So I mean, being a pillar of GMMTV and like the fact that they're still active and still so, I don't know if relevant's the right word, but relevant, I guess, in 2022. Popular, yeah.
I mean, people were waiting for Not Me. People were waiting for them to do a show. People were asking for them to do a show together.
Yeah.
So I think, like, the couples that managed to stand through all of that and still be desirable for the fans are really pillars in the genre.
Yeah.
As itself. And I find it really interesting. There are a lot of, like, the earlier BL couples in GMMTV that still are around, while the newer couples sort of just like put them together and split them up again. Like, it's not like something, we haven't gotten like a really like firm long haul BL pairing in GMMTV for a while.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on future projects? Do we think it will happen? What would we like to see?
I feel like it's very possible that we'll get another OffGun series, but I have no idea what they would do next. Right. They've definitely outgrown, like, the school type.
Yeah.
If they make that 30-year-old man try and play a university student again, I swear to God. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if not the blue shorts. Oh my God, that would be even worse.
Oh my God.
The cursed blue shorts. Oh my God.
3 sizes too small.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, like, if in a year or so, like, if they wait that, like, benchmark 2 years again, we definitely might see them in another project. I think it would be fun to see them, like, go back into something more, like, rom-com style, but not, obviously not university focused, like, in some adult life situation with rom-com elements. Maybe switch it up and make, like, Gun the more comedic relief character would be a really cool switch off, and, like, Off playing someone, I don't know, completely different. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot that they could do with them, but it's just a matter of, like, is GMMTV gonna make them another like pioneer into a new genre?
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting if, like, GMMTV's like debut, like, Mafia BL was with OffGun.
Their version of Kin Porsche.
Yeah.
I think they could do a
I mean, technically that's going to be Never Let Me Go. Isn't that like a Mafia BL with Pond and Puin? Isn't, like, one of them like a Mafia son or something like that?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he is, like, one of them's like the Mafia son, because I remember being really excited for that one. But it's like Golden Blood 2.0. But it looked a lot better aesthetically, so let's hope for the best. And I'm pretty sure it's JoJo directing it, so
before we got the show as well.
Did it though?
Yeah,
it
the trailer was fine.
It was a little bit budget friendly.
I was actually excited about Golden Blood when I heard the story before it came out, because they made, like, a total mockery of it. So that's fine.
But Never Let Me Go is directed by JoJo, so, like, that's the difference. JoJo is one of, like, the icon directors in GMMTV, so I feel like we're in good hands there.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Just don't let it be a ghost BL. Like, just...
Now I hope it's a ghost BL just to spite you, so you have to watch it for OffGun.
Wait, now my brain is connecting the dots, because what if Lit was working with OffGun for that series?
That would be wild.
I would die!
That would be amazing.
Now that's the only thing I'll accept. That's the only thing I will accept, is for Lit's project with GMMTV to be an OffGun series.
We have to contact him and be like, OffGun for this series.
Hopefully Kayla's manifestation powers will work for this one.
I'll get on that.
That's amazing. Oh, that would be amazing. Okay. So, our Delulu moment has arrived. Yes, so there are a lot of rumors and a lot of talk online from fans about these two.
The amount of times that, like, OffGun has had, like, a little confirmation moment that that they're together, and fans have, like, taken it and run wild on the internet. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that happened pretty recently, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that, like, Off made a comment pretty recently, and, like, people went crazy.
I don't remember what he said, but he said something, and I'm just like, people went crazy with it. Like, this is confirming it. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's a little bit vague, and it's translated. So are you sure?
Yeah. But I guess let the kids have their fun.
But they make it really easy.
Into it.
They make it really, really easy to think that there's something there.
Yeah. They're definitely one of those couples, I think, for a lot of people that, like, really fuel the Delulu.
Mm-hmm. And have they ever come out and just, like, said that they are just friends? Like Maxwell have said?
I don't know.
Swear they haven't.
I don't think so.
remember ever seeing that.
Yeah, because they are just comfortable fueling the fire.
They're under GMMTV.
I find that so funny.
GMMTV always has to leave that little ounce of hope there. No one's allowed to say they're just friends. You have to be potentially gay or you're out. Yeah. I don't know. I have, like, very few pairings that, like, really fuel my Delulu tendencies. And for me, I don't think OffGun is necessarily one of them. Mm-hmm. But I'm also just, like, not super, like... Not super into them is not the right term. But, like, I feel like I'm one of those people who, like, I'll follow their projects, but I don't follow them as much individually as a pairing. Right. So I feel like if I was more, like, into them outside of their works, then maybe I would be more on the Delulu train. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably one of the ships that I actually do pay a little bit attention to. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like a I was gonna say solo shipper, but
Pixie only cares about individual actors. Pixie says fuck all your ships. If you're not Jeff or Bound, then, like, she does not care.
C, Jeff, Bound, like
Z too. Yeah, we can't forget.
Yeah, Z. That's where I'm at. So I don't really care about, like, couples and follow couples, but if there's been anyone that I've actually, like, seen other stuff than just their show and kind of felt a little bit Delulu about, it's been OffGun.
If you can get Pixie, then you must be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, OffGun are like a comfort ship for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I just like knowing that they're there and that they could act in something, but also them individually, I think, are really comforting to watch in shows just because they've been around so long and they're a constant in the BL world.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And they really do seem like such good people. Yeah. Like, they seem so genuine.
Yeah, they do seem like genuinely cool dudes.
Mm-hmm. I could hang out with them.
So
not that we would understand each other, but
when we're in Thailand, OffGun. If you guys, like, just want to hit us up, if you're watching this, you know, we can have a little chit chat.
We'll hang
together. We'll hang. You know, if you guys are open to it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have anything to add?
I think so.
Heather's on her Delulu feels in the chat. They're probs just soulmates. Been in the industry forever. Very close. Platonic life partners.
Yeah, I mean, do you need to label everything? They're just...
Wait, how else could it be read?
Yeah, right. Was there a
aggressively
way to read that?
Like, very close, platonic life partners, just screaming.
I'm literally crying. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, good job. I completely lost my train of thought, so we're just gonna end it here.
And on that note,
that's it for our episode this week. Leave a comment down below or over on our social media telling us what you love about OffGun. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sharing this episode with your friends really helps us out. And thanks for joining us for this week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
bye-bye.
I'm crying. I started crying.